Let's fight. Welcome in the ring to each and every one of you folks. Let's fight. Let's fight. We trust you good. Let's fight. We trust you well. Pace and power, folks. Boots on the ground. Good to have all of you folks with us. Ring that bell one time as you guys rock and come in. Share the live for us. Smash that emoji button for us as well, folks. Share the live. Smash that emoji button. We want as many folks to get valid and credible information as possible. Friends, that's what we want. That's what we desire this evening. Valid and credible information. Good to see each and every one of you here. Claire Alexis Charmley Richmond is first up. Cheryl and Hazel is here. Hazel Haywood, rather. Cheryl, my apologies. My apologies. We beg, we beg, we beg. Good to have all of you folks in the ring with us tonight. We're making sure that we're shared far and wide, folks. Magnell Barrow, Sherry DeRitta, Shelly DeRitta. Good to have you, Shelly. Good to have Chinsing Henry here. Haven't seen this name in the comment section in a little bit. I ain't say I haven't been watching and viewing. I just haven't seen the name in a little bit. Diane, good to see you there. And Verlin, Patricia, and all the other folks joining us tonight from the many places. Pace and power. Good to see each and every one of you folks. Pace and power. Slippers on the ground. Good to have all of you with us, folks. Share the live. Smash that emoji button, guys. Pace and power. Power and pace. We got the fight card set, folks. We're not playing around this evening. We got the fight card set. Great to have all of you folks with us. Pace and power. Here we go, folks. Here we go. No time to lose. No time to lose. We got the opener. We are running too fast now. Too fast. Come back. Come back. Come back. Rewind. Come back a little bit. Too fast. Too fast. Too fast. Folks, welcome. Wherever you're joining us from tonight. The opener. The People's National Congress Reform had its press conference, its weekly press conference today, folks. And we heard some things we think you guys ought to hear too. You know, still following up on that oil spill there in Tobago and the implications for Guyana. And we find it quite strange. With all the dots connecting, this government still hasn't said they can do a thorough investigation as yet, folks. You know who took issue with that today at that People's National Congress Reform? Press up, the advisor on economics, the one and only Elson Lowe. Folks, take a listen to some of what Elson said.
Growing oil spill in the Caribbean Sea is exposing the PUP's irresponsibility and inaction. The government's refusal to acknowledge the deepening oil spill crisis in the Caribbean Sea is both alarming and telling. Reportedly, this spill now stretches hundreds of miles from Grenada to Bonaire. Given indications that this shipment was bound for Guyana, this disaster has the potential to create a foreign affairs crisis that would strain relations between Guyana and several other countries. As Guyana currently holds the chairmanship of CARICOM, it is utterly disgraceful that we would refuse to urgently address a crisis that severely threatens our Caribbean brothers and sisters. Instead, the Minister of Public Infrastructure and GPL have sought to distance the government of Guyana from this disaster through deflection and cover-up. We call for an immediate investigation to identify those responsible for the spill. We also call for a more urgent and comprehensive government response. Without these, Caribbean countries will be solely left to bear the brunt of cleanup efforts, slowing down the containment of the spill and straining their local resources and capacities. Additionally, the investigation must encompass the reports that a large quantity of suspected cocaine washed up near the shipwreck site. All of this must be viewed in the context that Guyanese citizens have been fighting the battle for full liability coverage for an oil spill offshore Guyana, as well as for full public disclosure of the current coverage. But the PUP government persists in actively blocking the lodging of a full liability parent company guarantee, while hiding the details of existing provisions. The PUP is putting Guyana and the broader Caribbean at risk because of its lack of transparency, accountability, and patriotism, and its incompetence, which we know knows no bounds. We will continue to pressure the government on these fronts. 3. Jagdeo is either naive or a deceiver with regards to whether oil companies can cover all costs of an oil spill cleanup. We here dispute the disturbing explanation that Barry Jagdeo fed Guyanese at his last press conference on the preparedness and capacity of the oil companies to fully stand all costs for an oil spill offshore Guyana. He is either naive and ill-informed or engaged in deliberate deception. He claimed that the stocks or share value of local subsidiaries of ExxonMobil, Hess, and Sina are collectively worth US 100 billion and therefore amount to sufficient funds to cover any oil spill in Guyana. Even if we examine the matter on his terms, Jagdeo fails to understand that 1. Due to reputational damage, the value of these companies will decline sharply in the event of an oil spill. 2. An oil spill will likely interrupt production for a prolonged period, further reducing their value. 3. The scale of resources urgently needed in the event of an oil spill will be difficult to attain amid such a decline in the value of these subsidiaries. And 4. There's likely to be a protracted dispute between the Stabroek partners and subcontractors over responsibility for a spill, delaying any cleanup intervention. To illustrate all this, let's look at the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico in 2010. After the spill, BP's stock price fell by as much as 55%. This means that Jagdeo's 100 billion figure would potentially be immediately reduced by more than half. Secondly, it was the clout and strictness of the US government that forced BP to accept full cleanup liability and not try to pass the buck to its limited liability subsidiary, as is the normal corporate practice. Is the PUP poised to do the same? They are too weak and corrupt to do the same. Thirdly, after the event, several US laws and administrative practices were tightened to ensure oil companies could not exploit any ambiguity and loopholes to evade or lessen full responsibility. We see no signs of that in Guyana. Clearly, Jagdeo is ignorant of and or unbothered by such well-documented history. As we and others have said before, he should have nothing to do with the business of oil in Guyana. Outside of those issues, the question of whether ExxonMobil Guyana is solely responsible for an oil spill cleanup or jointly with the other two subsidiaries is yet to be legally settled. The case is now before the CCJ on whether the local subsidiaries of Hess and Sina are required to hold their own individual environmental permits and therefore be equally liable as the operator, ExxonMobil Guyana. Regardless of the outcome of this case, we call on the government to ensure, in its short remaining time in office, that all companies bear liability. As such, the government needs to confirm that the relevant agreement exists among these three companies to avoid protracted disputes. Above all, full liability coverage, inclusive of a parent company guarantee, must be the ultimate document to ensure the oil companies accept full responsibility for any offshore oil spill. The growing oil spill in the Caribbean Sea is exposing the PUP's irresponsibility and inaction.
Welcome back, folks. Thanks for joining us from the many places that you wonderful folks are joining us from. Great to see each and every one of you on the live. And that was economist Elson Morgan walking us through what's happening here and our implications in this. We've been implicated, by no one businessman says that he bought, he don't ship fuel, and a whole manner of things. Is who bought and is who fuel? Who bought and who fuel? And where's the tug? Whatever happened to the tug, folks? There's a lot we got to deal with. But good to see each and every one of you guys. Welcome, wherever you're joining us from this evening. Pace and power, slippers on the ground. Good to have each and every one of you, good folks. That was the opener, guys. That was the opener. We got a lot happening around the world. We want to show you a couple, not plenty, a couple of things happening around the world, folks. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. This is the president of Ireland, and he was taken to the hospital after feeling unwell. It helps us to understand that our politicians are human beings too. So hospitalized at the moment, folks, is the president of Ireland. Yep, and we wish the goodly gentleman a speedy recovery. Nothing but a speedy recovery. Nothing but a speedy recovery. That's one thing we don't make joke with as politicians, health and so on. We're not playing with that, folks. We're not going to play with that at all, at all, at all. So we want to see a speedy recovery, a very, very speedy recovery to the President of Ireland, Mr. Michael Higgins. And reports are that Mr. Higgins is in excellent, excellent spirit. That's what the publications are saying internationally. Look at this. President Higgins is 82 years old. We know another president pushing out in age. You know, if you're 82 years and in president, you've had some time in public service. You know, yep, you've had some time in public service. You got to say like Mitch with the glitch. You see, the tank is empty, and you're watching the finish line. Yeah, Mitch with the glitch. Yep, the tank is empty, watching the finish line. But we want to wish President Michael Higgins, the President of Ireland, a speedy recovery, a very, very speedy recovery. That's what's happening on that side, folks. Look at this. Look at this. Right? Look at this. This father for the win. A Kansas father sprang into action when his wife went to live on a highway, folks, on February 27. Yep, by the time the deputies and them got there, baby don't come, folks. Baby don't come. Right? They could be her telling officers over the radio, I just delivered my baby. You see, you got to be, when you're a father, when you're a dad, right? When you're a dad, you got to be set for any eventuality. You know, read a long time ago, anybody could be a father. It takes someone special to be a dad. Not so Lester. How a song there? A waxing lyrical? Who don't know? Anybody could be a father. You know, it takes somebody special to be a dad. Yep. Yep. Mavis Davis Wells and Winston. How a song, the boy? How a song, my brother? Anybody could be a father. Somebody special. We are the critics part yet? We are the critics push yet? It's not one critics put on the Joker mask and come out. Put on your Joker outfit and come out. I want to say kudos to this father who delivered his baby in Kansas on a highway. You see, when God says you're going to make it, you're going to make it, you know. I want some of y'all know that I find too many politicians factor out God. I wasn't even supposed to be here for this long. But too many people factor out God. When God opened the door, no man can close it. No man can close it. I see Dolly Anderson asked me if I saw the Wendy documentary, Wendy Williams. I saw a portion of it. I saw some reporting on it. My wife and I sat down quite recently and watched some reporting on it, and we had our own little discussion and so on. Yep. All the world is but a stage. You know, you come for a time, you do your thing, and then you try. You don't think I can be here for 100 years? I hear a couple of mornings, and then another Rasta take my place. Yep. Kudos to this father, folks. Moving along. Some of y'all trying to detain me here, you know, and all manner of things. But good to see each and every one of you folks. You get like one of them. That's all I can tell you. Jagabats and trench capos, Hittites, Philistines, and Pharisees. What's happening around the region, good folks. Sometimes the things is just like me. You all don't worry too much. So what's happening around the region? Look, story here now. A Jamaican minister has resigned. This is interesting. Hold on. But here why he resigned. I find Jamaica has to be a fascinating place. You all know I stopped on the airport there a couple months ago, had some Jamaican, didn't venture too far into Kingston, had some paddies and this. I was in transit a couple minutes and such and so forth. This is the Minister of Works. Resigned. Here why he resigned, folks. Hold on. People different, you know. I keep telling you all, we have a very dysfunctional society. Very dysfunctional society. Right. This minister, This minister, right, Everald Warmington, he said to one of the councillors who coming in, he's from the Jamaica Labour Party, the party in government, and he said to a councillor from the People's National Party from an area called Old Harbour South Division, right? I can starve you for funding. Something along that line. And public pressure grew so much, folks. He had resigned from cabinet. Can you imagine that? He only said, I can make sure your constituency and get nothing. Ewart Benjamin, Winella Garnett, Denise, he only said it. It wasn't an act of commission. He only said it. He spoke the word. That's all he did, folks. And he is gone tonight. Resigned. Pressure. What's pipe? My aunt says pressure make water go uphill. Pressure. Folks, he only said it. I'm going to make sure your constituency there. I'm going to make sure your constituency, Old South, Old Harbour South, you ain't get one thing. That is what Everald Warmington said. He only said it. Brothers and sisters, comrades, friends in arms, a luta continua. He only said it. We live in a country. You saw the pageantry recently and the hypocrites on full display who practice that every day. How they can starve Linden, how they can starve Georgetown, bypass Georgetown and give out this and that, give out land. I don't care if you got the title, we come into all of that. He only said I can starve Old Harbour South. And we have politicians, and we live in a country where politicians practice this. I'm going to make sure APNU councillors and get nothing. I'm going to make sure APNU supporters and get nothing. We live in a country, if you're an APNU supporter, they know you, you can't get work with the government. You can't get work with the government. Minister Everald only said it. He ain't put it into action. Everald Warmington, out. 1, 2, 3, out you go. Yep. But I tell you all, we sit down here and the fire light and we're going along. When you see what they do with the budget, Region 10, budgetary allocations going down, Georgetown, the most populous of the municipalities, funding skimpy and skimpy. And other places, no, everything nice. 2 billion, water treatment, roads up to date, handouts, hampers, hamper nation. Folks, I want you to appreciate what's happening here. How the political culture in Jamaica is different. The man only said it. We live in a country where this practice every single day. Every single day. It is practice. It is put into commission every day. You see? But we see that as common fare and we go along like beasts of burdens. Beasts of burdens. This went down, folks. Jamaica, he gone. He's gone. Everald Warmington, Minister of Works, in the office of the Prime Minister to boot. So much for that. Who sharing the live? Who gonna smash that emoji button, good folks? Faith and power. Folks, I tell you all, we hold governments by different standards. If we hold the PPP by the standards we held APNU AFC by, They don't have a second term. They don't have a second term. On the basis of the last intervention alone, the last story we covered there, they don't have a second term in them. They don't have a second term in them. I have been to countless communities where citizens tell me they're told to their faces, you're up, no, you're getting nothing. You're getting a hamper. You're getting no cash grant. You're getting no COVID cash grant for nothing. You're a supporter of the people tell them in their faces. We practice that every day. We can't say we better than somebody. We got such a far way to go. We so far down when you reach up, we touching bottom. Once we get the 592, we so far down when we reach up, it's bottom we touching. The man only said it. He only said it. I can make sure you get nothing new. I can make sure you get nothing. He only said it. People do that every day in this country. Because you perceived an opposition member, you can't get nothing. And if people want to help you, they got to do it very quietly and secretly. At least they bring the rat to the government on their own heads. These things are not on CARICOM's agenda, but it's a reality. It's a lived experience. Mayor Motley told us last time they were here, we didn't take it seriously. We can become tenants in our own country. And we see it. We see it. I saw a young man in the video early on today saying how the Chinese own this body own that. We're going to be working for foreign nationals, all of us, very soon. Tenants in our own country. And if your own can't treat you properly, who must treat you proper? Your own denying you resources that belongs to all the people of this country. Who must treat us proper? Farmington is out, folks, tonight. Minister in the office of the Prime Minister with responsibility for works. He's out in Jamaica. Because they got a democratic process that's deep. They got ethics, they got values, they got accountability, they got transparency, they got good governance. We can talk a good talk. We can't walk the walk, though. Who vex? We can talk a good talk. Even it's a gaff man. But walking the walk, he's a hypocrite. We didn't see one Guyana yet. Discard that. Hypocrites. All right, let me go down the road. Let's go down the road. Talk 10. Talk 10. 30,000 dead in Gaza. CARICOM now finding its voice. Talk 10. Now finding its voice. 30,000. 30,000. Folks, I grew up living in South Ramville. Lived in South Ramville for about 30 years of my life, if not more. In South, I know every crack, every crevice, every creature, every contour. I know it. It's the South. Got about 30,000 people living here. It's a very densely populated part of the capital city. Very densely populated. One of the better laid out communities you'd find in this country. So if you know South, imagine waking up and everything there is gone. It's just a desolation. Every man, woman, and child dead. Can't come just find advice. They come, they eat up and they drink up and so on. They just find the vice, now they're talking about money. And they're talking about the immediate and unconditional ceasefire. We can't even bring Haiti under control. It's got to be worrying about. We can't even bring Haiti to yield. Bring it back on the path of the, what is the phrase they use? League of Nations or whatever they call it. We worrying about Gaza. We worrying about Gaza. We priorities mix up. But of course, we have to say something. Huh? We got to mark we name president. We can't even fix Haiti. But it's immediate and unconditional ceasefire we worried about in the Middle East. You understand where we're going? Oh, Harold Barrow must be turning in the grave. Forbes Burnham, Summer Sultan, Eugenia Charles, Roland, and all the other greats. Call some names for me, man. Must be rolling in the graves when they see what we've become. We want the immediate and see the things in here. Immediate and unconditional ceasefire. That's folks. Let me done the show. Let me wrap it up tonight. Because we're going down here. You know, I got some juggerbots and trench couples. You know, I got some couples and cricketers right in there. I ain't saying this everybody, but you got a couple of them in there. 30,000 dead. We just wake up. Something happening over there, huh? Immediate and unconditional ceasefire. Jesus have mercy. Moving on, folks. Moving on. That's informational. And in the same breath, they're conferring the region's highest award this year on Clive Lloyd. Well deserved. The Order of the Caribbean Community on Clive Lloyd for his body of work. Guyanese cricketer extraordinaire. He came, he saw, he conquered. Congrats to Clive Lloyd. Right? Congrats, well deserved. Wouldn't take a thing away from him. Well deserved. He came, he saw, he conquered. He paid his dues. Congrats to the big fella. Congrats to the big fella. Ring the bell one time for Uncle Clive. Ring the bell one time. Who vex? I don't ring it. It's me bell. Ring the bell one time. Pocket jagabats, Hittites, Hippocytes. Pack of crosses. I said, that's not everybody, but you got a few. It's not everybody, but you got one and two of them in there. One and two of them in there, looking after their own affairs. So congrats again. Congrats again to the one and only Clive Lloyd on this achievement here. The Order of the Caribbean Community for all his hard works. That being said, folks, look story here now. In addition to conferring that award on Clive Lloyd, Caribbean leaders are concerned, they say. We're in shambles, you know. We're in shambles. And that's the word. We're in real shambles here. They're concerned over the manner in which the Caribbean Development Bank president, Gene as he's known, Leon, has been sent on leave. An investigation is happening there at the Caribbean Development Bank. You hear now? All manner of things. All manner of things. Caribbean leaders, they're concerned. They ain't got no sway on the bank. They can't tell us more. What have they heard? Huh? What are the infractions that Gene is alleged of? They're concerned, they say, over the manner of suspension, not the gravity of the allegations or anything like that. The manner of the suspension. God have mercy. Oh, well, come again and save we. Huh? Come again and save we. Please and thank you. Oh, Eric. Oh, where you gone, Eric? Where you gone? Where you gone? Where you gone? Where you gone? How, Eric? Where you gone? We in a bad way? Don't anybody tell you different. We in a bad way. We in a bad way. I just want to tell you first. We in a bad way. Right? We in a bad way, folks. That being said, they're going after funding now. CARICOM, that is, putting some programs and institutional things in place to go after funding to help their individual member states in the area of climate adaptation in particular, folks. Look like shake out the slumber a little bit. They shake out the slumber a little bit. Take a look.
Barbados Prime Minister Mia Mottley told yesterday's closing press conference of the CARICOM Heads of Government Summit that the heads decided to fast-track a number of critical issues.
The last few years have been difficult, and we've moved from crisis management to crisis management to crisis management. But we're at a stage now where we have to resume our normal economic growth trajectory. And that means confronting the issue that finance is oxygen and that the framework for the single market and single economy has to be put up and center at the front burner again.
There is a CARICOM development fund that needed a contribution cycle. There is now a funding arrangement in place for the next few years.
Was that even as we replenish this fund, it is not going to be enough. And what faces our region now is the reality that we are both trying to build resilience through adaptation, and those adaptation of systems and adaptation of infrastructure to better face the climate crisis that is already bedeviling the region, both in terms of hurricanes and floods, but also in terms of droughts and sargassum seaweed, that we need to be able to have a clear platform for access for funding for adaptation.
The question of sustainable growth was one of the focuses.
Was that even as we replenish this fund, it is not going to be enough. And what faces our region now is the reality that we are both trying to build resilience through adaptation, and those adaptation of systems and adaptation of infrastructure to better face the climate crisis that is already bedeviling the region, both in terms of hurricanes and floods, but also in terms of droughts and sargassum seaweed, that we need to be able to have a clear platform for access for funding for adaptation. But at the same time, in the same way that we say we cannot choose between people and planet, we need to have a pathway to be able to secure sustainable growth, fair and equitable growth for our people. And therefore, we determined that we will do two things. One, separate from the contribution cycle that we've agreed to for all member states for the CARICOM Development Fund, we are going to agree that we need to establish, or we've agreed, that we need to establish a working group on finance for Caribbean development. And this will be chaired by Vice President Bharat Jagdeo, and will work with me as lead Prime Minister for CARICOM Single Market and Single Economy.
This committee will come up with a report within 4 months. There is the Barbados Initiative known as the Green Climate Fund. There is a Blue-Green Investment Bank.
And we now have commitments from both the government of Guyana and the government of Bahamas, as well as USAID, that we will work to capitalize that fund. We have commitments of 15 million US from the GCF. We have the same amount from Barbados, the same from Guyana, I believe the same from Bahamas.
There is also commitment from Latin American Development Bank.
It is our hope that we can reach at least 100 million US dollars in seed capital. Barbados has the draft bill for the institution, and we hope to operationalize this institution as a matter of urgency to service the needs of the Caribbean community with respect to resilience and adaptation.
The end result is that this initiative will save $7 in losses for every dollar spent, according to Ms. Motley.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me, folks. Sounds like a plan to me, but hold on. Did I hear her say that we given 50 million US? You see why you can't take this government seriously? Because they ain't got money for the teachers. They ain't got money for getting teachers a little fleck. You see? But you want to show off yourself on the regional stage. So we get take a 50 million US, man. Not too much. No biggie. Because you want to be called my brother Irfan. My brother. You see? It sounds like a plan. But nobody asked me. Nobody asked me. Right? I didn't say it's a bad plan. I am not saying I would have said no. But I missed the ask. I missed the. Nobody didn't ask me. Anybody asked you, Donna Miller? But it's 50 million US. Barbara Ralph, Linda Campbell, Elroy Archer, Andrew Griffith. Anybody ask you? Daryl Cambridge? I would have liked to be asked. You know, should or should we? Should or I would have liked to be asked as a stakeholder. See, that's the problem. It's very important. The judge said we dysfunctional. You take 2 mediators now. What you can do for yourself, we gonna fix. You see, when you become lawless, the law got to step in and try to bring some semblance of structure. Try to bring some semblance of structure to you because you're dysfunctional. And so Judge Sandal Kissoon stepped in, right, urging both parties to put the best foot forward in this process of mediation, and has appointed Senior Counsel Edward Laku and Senior Counsel Robin Stobie to be mediators in tomorrow's meeting of government and Guyana Teachers Union. Yep. What don't happen in a year is happening in a day. Who don't know? What don't happen in a year is happening in a day. So let's see what comes out of this, as both sides hopefully are going into it with good faith, in good faith. You see? But there's only so much faith you can have in them. When you hear a man calling the next one and say, this is what you can do. You write this memo. Don't care what Judge Kissoon said. Right? Tell them, if they mark the name present, money still coming out. When people are operating like that, how you can assume they're going in good faith? How? But let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's see. I wish this judge would handle some more cases. I don't know his energy level. I know his capacity. But I wish he would handle some more cases. This country look like it was gone straight and I like, quick. Y'all crazy. Y'all only play your just Sandal Kissoon handle some more matters. I only play y'all crazy. So Mr. Stobie and Mr. Laku are the interlocutors, the mediators, folks, who are going to be bringing hopefully some semblance of order and structure. I was so saddened to hear Adil saying, when this case is done, we can win it and we can take out the salary. That's not in good faith to a process. No wonder the judge said, y'all bringing the institutional justice into disrepute, the administration of justice. Small wonder he said that. That's how you go and operate. Huh? Like a bully. Like a backstreet bully. Well, Sandal Kissoon right for y'all. Right for y'all. So we're watching this, folks. We're going to be like a fly on the wall tomorrow, watching all those efforts. Teachers' slippers still on the ground, folks. Teachers' slippers still on the ground. You remember that? You remember the anthem?
Behaving like them ain't got no feelings. The strike done come it near and done. But me slippers still up on the ground. We come far now, we ain't backing down. We did only want what we working for. Now Ali come and say we getting done. But me slippers still up on the ground. We come far now, we ain't backing down. Hey, people, this thing too serious. The little bit of money can't sustain us. You're working for years and you can't buy a car. Every morning is a struggle when you gotta catch.
Yeah. I can see some of y'all done broken out already. You know, it has that kind of effect on you. You done broken out already. At least the mediation gets underway tomorrow, folks, and we can keep our ear on the ground with that. There's a lot happening in this country now. It's plenty things, jagabats, trench crappos, the tadpoles, and the cricketers. There's plenty things happening. Oh, Father. Father, help me. The voice is rusty tonight, folks. Y'all know not nice is butter. A little rusty tonight. My HD voice, Father, help me. Please and thank you. Never dull moment. Never dull moment. Look, story, mouth open, story jump out. You know when I get there, the whole family stories come out. You know who's outside cheering, who go outside cheering, inside cheering, cheering at the side at the back. It's when you get there, everything is come out. Everything is come out. You know, listen to me. Guyanese as a collective, not a government. Guyanese as a collective. We have a fair sense of people, you know. And you all spot some of them a mile off. You all spot some. I'm going to hold my jacket tonight, man. You all spot some of them a mile coming. A mile coming. My apologies to a lot of y'all. You see them a mile coming. And you all call it. Well, Pim. Look, story here. We there. We there. We there. But look, story here now. Folks, y'all think this country is easy. But maybe sister cousin, Dorothy, she's son, Edward, he girlfriend, know this whole thing. She know the whole thing, folks. The whole thing. Look. You remember that? Is it Tepui? Tepui? Yeah? What's the name of the company? Yeah? Break it up in a syllable for me. Tepui. Folks, the family. You remember the excavator operator who met his demise working on a contract for Tepui? You remember that, folks? Hold on. You don't forget that already? Zero Hero, Crandon Serdema, Sabrina Jacobs, Michaela Andrew Coates. You all forget it already? Well, I can remind you all. The folks went to see Azruddin Muhammad today. It's when you get there, everything is bust out. The young man, a crane operator for Tepui, one Shon Joseph, Shon Anthony Joseph. He was 44 years old. He's a contemporary of mine at 44. I mean, I'm 34. He's 44. God rest the dead. A crane operator for Tepui. The man met his demise. The family went to see Azruddin Muhammad today. Good folks. Went to see the boss man, Pim. Mount open story. You got some real jackabat. It's how much grass curry date. We got some real trench capos, Hittites, Hippocytes. We got some real Philistines and Pharisees. Brothers and sisters. This is the story of critics, the 5 million, and the dead Tepui operator. So Shon Anthony, his family went to see the Mohammeds. Shon Anthony Joseph, God rest the dead. The family, it is alleged, told the Mohammeds, the grieving family, all the way from Bobis, told the Mohammeds, they're alleging, right, that critics, all he did when Shon Anthony Joseph met his demise on that construction site, Tepui had. You see, when they were cross, everything for them cross up. It is alleged, the family said, that Bordness only gave them 460,000 and extended his condolences. Folks, I don't know, but I like being me. I'd rather be me. I just want to be me. You're hearing allegations of 7 million borrow to build studio. It's a good thing when we fall penny. You know, we got a little cooling fan. 1-2 times somebody give me a little breezer. When we little foul pen going kitty cutter. You hear allegations of 7 million borrow for build studio, 20 million borrow to buy crane. The people selling the crane, by the way, the people take back the crane properly. What did the what did the review this morning say? What was Kamal Prasad's word? Huh? What was the phrase? Took back their crane promptly. Millions of dollars allegedly borrowed for this very Tepui contract to execute it. All of a sudden, others don't look so hungry belly. You know, the world is a weird place. Hungry belly looking different now. Hungry belly looking different now. Who's sharing their life tonight, man? Who's gonna smash that emoji? But hungry belly looking very different. And who can read and who don't read? In addition to that, all these millions being borrowed, Birdnest is being taken to court by the Honorable Simona Brooms, you know, for slander and libel, $450 million. So the reports allege that this family went to see Asruddin. I wish I had Asruddin on the phone tonight. I wish I had Asruddin on the phone. You know the whole thing. The family allege that all they got out of critics is that he extended his sympathy to the family and $460,000 was given to the family. I don't know how he ended up at $460,000. Why it wasn't rounded up to $500,000. I don't know. Maybe they said that was the funeral expenses. I don't know. But they allege $450 million was given to the family. Listen, Nazra, Shell Mohammed fall out the chair. Or don't fall out his chair. When he heard that, they said the big man was shocked. When he heard this story, $450? $450? We ain't so poor. What? Shell say, you sure? Nazir back channels that we're hearing. Nazir Shal Muhammad asked them, you sure? Remember I tell you all, Ireland's president was rushed to the hospital. Back channels telling us Shell was almost rushed to the hospital. You know, you're big in age, you can't take all kind of shock. Even when I was young, I never liked surprises. I never like, don't surprise me. I'm not the kind of person. You don't know me that well. You don't know me that well. Don't surprise me. Let's see you coming 10 miles out. Don't surprise me. They said Shell. Nazir Shell was shocked. They had the ambulance outside waiting. You don't look at the whole ambulance? You don't know that? You don't think we with boat and helicopter would own the whole ambulance? Yes. Own ambulance right outside. The man was shocked. Back channels telling us he took about half hour just to compose himself. You can't spring news on big people like that. And you know, some people can't even give you bad news. You all know yourself. You can't even give people bad news. Some people just call you and say, Tepui dead. Just when they call Tepui dead. You gotta wait you do it. Where is it? There's your man, he would just call you and say Tepui dead. Lisa's one of them person and Ina too. Thomasin, I think he's one of them too. Tepui dead. No, that's not how you do it. Hold on. Y'all don't know anything to bad news. Tell Nazar Muhammad was shocked. Right? When you call people to give bad news, it's like a 3-stage process. Run the garden. Right? Rhonda, if I call you to give you bad news and tell you Tepui dead, I say, Rhonda, how are you doing? Is there somebody there with you? Right? It's a 3-step, you know. How are you doing, Rhonda? Is there somebody with you? Accune you up, Rhonda. Lyndon Gill, Wendy, let's accune you up. The next thing, John Jones. John, you're sitting down? You're sitting down? Soon some people call me. I go to stage 3. I'm sitting down. I'm not waiting for the other 2. I gone to stage 3. I'm sitting down. And I'm bracing it over. The man was shocked. Now, if you call people to say Tepui dead, you gotta say, how are you? How are you? Is there someone there with you? Are you sitting? Those are the cues. Everybody knows. You didn't know that? They said Nazar was shocked. Because the folks who was giving him the information, this public, didn't say, Nazar, Nazar Shell, how are you? But they know the other, but they knew at least one of the other question. Is anybody there with you? They're right there. But they should have tell you brace. Some things you gotta brace for. It's only 460 we get. The man was shocked. Well, I can tell you now why he was shocked. Hold on. Story got 3 sides. You didn't know that? Story got 3 sides. There's me side, you side, and the side we hear about yet. Some people know the other way. I know some of y'all, but no, sure know the wrong way. Sharon got it wrong. It's me side, you side, and the truth. I like it me way. Me side, you side, and the side we hear about yet. Right? Me side, you side, and the side we didn't hear about yet. It's when you get dead, you figure out all kinds of things, folks. When you get dead, right? When things go south, you hear all manner of things. Nazar Shell was shocked. I'm about to tell you all why the man was shocked. Right? I'm about to tell you all why he was shocked. Right? This wasn't no rum shop, cook shop, sell jar bottle flight business. That could shock you too. If you find out somebody is a rum shop, cook shop, sell jar bottle fly, but you didn't know, you could be shocked. No. He was shocked. It wasn't a rum shop, cook shop, sell jar bottle fly business. But the man was shocked. Hear why he was shocked. It is being alleged, folks, based on people familiar with this conversation, familiar with the shockment, with the shock treatment. Right? People have stated that Birdness visited the Mohammed's office on Lombard Street. Birdness visited the office on Lombard Street. It is being alleged, a date given as well, and Birdness, it is being alleged, collected $5 million under the pretext of settling with the family of Mr. Joseph. But the reports we have said it never happened. Upon learning this, the report says, Mr. Muhammad says, this is unbelievable. When he gets back himself, This is unbelievable. I cannot understand that human beings could be so cruel, Nazir says. You see, half hour later when he gets back himself, that is what Nazir shall, part of what he said. They had a man named Pascal, mathematician, bright. You know, some people bright till they're stupid. He was the real deal. He's a bright trip. Right. And when he gets back himself, like how Nazar catch back himself, after he hear from 5 million, it's only 460. Mid destination, not 4.6, 460,000 from 5 million. Mid destination. When shall catch back himself? When Pascal catch back himself, and they ask him, this great mathematician, what you learn, you know, when you trip, what great insight you stumble upon. Pascal said, every man should know his limitations. That's what the experience taught him. Every man should know his limitations. Shell said, up to that point, he could not believe. And Shell is a businessman. He must have dealt with some unsavory people, you know, in his time. Shell is a decent, upstanding businessman. He must have dealt with a few creatures in his time. He said he has never seen anything so unbelievable. He said he couldn't believe, even with Gaza, 30,000 dead, that human beings could be so cruel. Nazar said, look at this family. The main breadwinner gone. Look at the children. Folks who knew the backstory, he pointed at them. You know, rich people is pointed at you. You know, poor people always get a very strong. Rich people is just however the hand things. Look at these children. Look at them. The main breadwinner gone. Look at this little boy here. Look at this little. You know what these people is doing? Look at this little girl here. Eh? Who will nurture them now? Eh? Who will nurture them? And then Shell, businessman of many years, exclaim. You know when you run out everything, you meet the end of yourself. You're not left in the tank. You just exclaim, when you get great trial and tribulation, the other side of that is lamentation. Shall bawl out, oh God! When shall Nazir Muhammad call on Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent? Oh God, you must know the hurt. When a man could rob the dead, you understand how people in this country will go and thief stand from the cemetery? I ain't said the Tepui thief stand from the cemetery. I cannot confirm nor deny that. There are a lot of allegations been wrong in this country. You understand people could thief sand from the cemetery for Bill Road? You gone home, you foot itching, you don't even know why is that sand. Take stand and build wall, thief sand from the cemetery. If a man could rob a dead man's family, if a man could rob a dead man's family, nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing is sacred. You know the untold horrors. And this is what Shal Nazir Muhammad was talking about. Those children are going to be cast into a world. Only a mother to fend for them. You see when you got a mother and a father fighting for you? Oh, that's like something divine. Huh? And that's like when Thor got the hammer. Now he's cast him out into the world. Y'all, what's that? You remember when Thor's father said, cast you out? That's how Birdnest cast out these children into the world. When the mother can take the 5 million and putting up 4 million for your education, we can worry with $1 million. We can invest in some little business, try to bring yourself up to standard. That didn't hear no more. But I got this. Huh? You lose them term at 460. Must see for the funeral. Chelsea, oh God. You think you see wickedness in this life? Marcy Jackman? Huh? Bronze and Iban, you think you see wickedness in this life? Huh? Folks, when you gonna rob the dead, how you gonna see a way? How you can? These are the allegations. These are the allegations, folks, and the back channels that we have. And Kevin McIntosh said it. 5 million, no real money. That is what makes it even more hard. That's what makes Shell ball out. Oh, God. Help us, Father. Help we, folks. Critics, the 5 million, the debt to Tepui operator. You all heard a long pause. What's the effect? Those are the allegations. Right? You know what's the moral of this story? You know what's the moral? Y'all learn to give people bad news properly. Tepui dead. Don't just do that. How are you? Anybody there but you? You sit it down. Don't just call people and say, Tepui dead. No, you ask good. I hear Tepui dead. You should hear my wife and she sister on the phone and she mother. They know every story in Barbies. Every story in Barbies. Angel, you hear it, girl? Tepui dead. Yeah. How are you doing? You sitting down? Anyone there with you? Folks, that's going to do it for us tonight. That's going to do it for us. When you think it can get worse? Every time it's a sheriff, this thing can get worse. You owe 20 million. We got at 4.4 now? 4.6 40? We got, I don't know, 20 million borrow. Don't have the allegation. 7 million borrow. 50 million borrow. We got 4 point something now. Every time I say this thing can't get worse, Simona run out behind his stat, she said, 450 million. Right? Simona somersault in the chest, 450 million. When you shock Shell, you must know we're in a bad way. You must know we're in a bad way. Folks, that's going to do it for us this evening. That's our time, folks. That's our program. And that's the last bell. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. See you guys the same place, same time tomorrow. Gavin, Lester, Winston, Leon, Rastaman, Tessa. Idol send everything that gets us good. I tell them all the time. Idol Rodney got to see you there. Belinda, Tessa. Tessa said, Sharon, I pray never to be in your ring. That's the one thing we get all the time, you know. People love, to watch in the ring, but they want the in the ring. Right? They don't want to be in the ring. A very good evening to the Muhammad's family. Azruddin and Mr. Nizar Muhammad and the whole family. We told, tune in. You see, half of this, 705, Jesus, got the glasses here. 3,300 plus watching us this evening. About 3,000 is Shell family. Shell family alone watching us. You see? For word, some of you have thief out these numbers, sir. You have thief out the view. Can't jump some people hand in this place, you know. They have thief out these numbers too. Good night to each and every one of you and your family. Good night to each and every one of you and your family as well. How are you doing? Is anybody there with you? You sitting down? Yeah. Yeah. Folks, that's it. Lisa and Diane and Joy and Edward, Avrella and Margaret Nelson. Now, Margaret, you all right? How you doing, Margaret? Margaret said they don't want to be in the hot seat. No. They like watching the ring. They want any ring. Seville McGarrell says, Birdness having a nice time with the money. Yep. Folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. Share that live before you go. Smash that emoji button before you go as well. And folks, because we don't want to run off with anybody's money. We're going to post the link, folks. Help us to meet our own obligations at this end. Yeah, no, we ain't got no 7 million for borrow from nobody. So we don't kitchen coupe. People on the sides finding we that. We got to do. You know, please and thank you. Paulette Benji and Neville Seatel, Edward Brooms and all the other folks joining us this evening. Leon Blair, Junan Bowman and Joylyn Cook. That's going to do it for us at this end, folks. That's our time and that's our program. Stay safe.